black woman walks out of an auto shop after a worker mocked Juneteenth. Here it is.
Why are the banks closed on Juneteenth? New holiday they did years ago. Okie dokie then.
I know, right? Pull my truck around. Please. Pull my truck around. And give me my keys, my truck. I don't want it. Please go get my truck. Thank you. It's this one right here? Yes, no, it's a birthday present.
We said Juneteenth was the holiday tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not.
We got mad about it. Yeah, well, thanks for Juneteenth.
Thank you. I don't even know what is Juneteenth.
Exactly. But I think it's something to do with reparations or something.
Yeah.
You know, you have Google, if you really are interested in knowing what the holiday is about. Put up the picture full mass. We have hell of a story here. A black North Carolina woman waiting to have her truck serviced decided to spend her money elsewhere after two employees and another customer appeared to mock Juneteenth. A customer had asked why banks were closed on Thursday. Man, because you're uninformed. That's why. They told you. I promise you. It's on the calendar. The employee responded, quote, Juneteenth, a new holiday they started a few years ago, end quote. The customer replied with a sarcastic tone, okie dokie. Another Synergy employee standing at the corner joined in laughing. I know, right? I know. This is funny. So the woman, the only black person in Synergy Auto Care in Wilson, North Carolina, at the time told an employee to, quote, give me my effing truck, pull my truck around, please. Pull my truck around and give me my truck. I don't want nothing done from here. She continued, please give me my truck, thank you. She then promptly turned and left the store. After the black woman, one of the employees admitted he didn't know what Juneteenth was. Something about reparations, something. He said. Can we analyze the subconscious psyche just for a minute? So it's about reparations because the holiday is in reference to black people and freedom. It's actually a reference also to the misinformation campaign that permeated the culture then, that permeates the culture now. Juneteenth, while not the official emancipation, the intentional effort to stop the information from coming to places like Texas is the reason Juneteenth is celebrated. Now, though the unidentified black woman was clearly offended, no one from the store apologized. Instead, they went after her on Facebook, and now it's on. Calling it today's, quote, wow moment. One of the employees repeated the story accurately, but felt no offense should be taken. No offense should be taken. Let's analyze that. Why? You see, Juneteenth is a celebration, a remembrance, an honoring of progress, while at the same time honoring those who died, those who were violated and had every asset they would have owned and earned ripped away from them because of a system. I would understand if you were offended because somebody made fun of Memorial Day. I would understand that, especially if you are in the military or former military man or woman. That would make complete sense, and I would echo your sentiment, and I would advocate for your position. But when it comes to the suffering, to the killing, the murder, the sexual assault of black bodies, it becomes a contextualized dynamic that has simply opinion rooted to it, no ethical or moral issues to discuss. This lack of care permeates. So the employee said that he did follow the woman outside, asked her what happened. Quote, she told me she was going live with this and that we were racist. He said in the Facebook posting, quote, she told me that we all laughed at her and we're chuckling and mocking the holiday, and that I didn't know how that made her feel because she was Black. She said, I'm still going live with this, end quote. The store employee told her if she did, the store would post its footage, quote, so we're not unfairly judged off one side of an event, end quote. The lack of care about the holiday isn't limited to business. Here it is.
Just one more on
Go
Juneteenth.
ahead.
Does the president plan to commemorate the holiday today or make any comment on it?
I'm not tracking his signature on a proclamation today. I know this is a federal holiday. I want to thank all of you for showing up to work. We are certainly here. We're working 24/7 right now. Nikki, go ahead.
Actually, that was my question. Will he plan to mark Juneteenth in any way, either today or with an event later on, maybe next week?
Sure. I just answered that question for you.
I got to be honest, hell, I thought he was going to come up with a proclamation saying it's over with, to be honest with you. Everything DEI. I answered the question, continue, but told you he was going to sign something. All right, so President Donald Trump took to social media. Social media on Thursday, on Juneteenth, a federal holiday, to criticize what? The number of non-working holidays. He's getting around to it. He's getting around next year. In the United States, quote, too many non-working holidays in America. Man that golfs 5 days out of the week because he sleeps for 2 of them. He says the non-working days, holidays, that's the problem with America. It is costing our country billions of dollars to keep all of these businesses closed. The workers don't want it either. Soon, we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. Yes, 365. It must change if we are going to go make America great again. Trump wrote in the Post in his Truth Social platform. Now, why is he doing this? Obviously, man, for those who are halfway awakened, this is laughable to me. This is funny, as if he cares, as if the information is accurate, as if he is doing something other than simply setting up the scenario, the stage for these clowns. Here they go.
Okay, everybody, a lot of people are going to be saying happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day.
Juneteenth should not be a federal holiday. And remember, everybody, Republicans fought to free the slaves. Democrats did not. And the reason why this holiday existed in Texas is because Democrats decided not to tell the people that they enslaved that they were free. They were trying to just kind of just push them into the dark, kept them in the dark, didn't tell them until General Gordon Granger came down and said, hey, you are free. So the reason why this holiday even existed is because in Texas is because Democrats decided not to tell the enslaved people that they were free.
Today's Juneteenth, and it marks the day that slavery finally ended in Texas 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. That is a real, meaningful moment in history. No one's arguing that. Conservatives aren't out here saying that we shouldn't celebrate the end of slavery. But now, Juneteenth is officially called Juneteenth National Independence Day. And that's where the issue lies, because we already have an Independence Day on July 4th, the day that we declared freedom for all Americans.
Yeah, and that would have been just fine, Karen. I'm going to call you that, Fit. That would have been just fine if independence actually did happen. You would not need a secondary dynamic to fix the first one because we did not get free by way of proxy. It wasn't freedom if everybody ain't free. That's real simple, is it not? And to Charlie Kirk, you don't even think Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday is an appropriate holiday, sir. So your racism continues to stand, at least you're consistent. As far as Juneteenth being something that, well, is an inappropriate holiday, can you tell me why? I hear you say it shouldn't be, but can you make an argument as to why it should not be? Can you provide a reason that we can debate? No, you can't. And I will wait. And I invite anybody to the bullpen to do so. So meanwhile, Juneteenth celebration have been scaled back this year due to funding shortages. Companies and municipalities across the country reconsidered their support for diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Canceled federal grants and businesses moved away from so-called brand activism, have hit the bottom line of parades and other events heading into Thursday's federal holiday, which celebrates the end of slavery in the United States, the unofficial official end. The shrinking financial support coincides with many companies severing ties with LGBTQ celebrations for Pride this year, and President Donald Trump's efforts to squash DEI programs throughout the federal government. And if that wasn't bad enough, this happened.
Trump supporters showed up to Juneteenth event being messy.
Collective, right? They pulled up. They claim they're conservatives. They came here and started calling us racist and recording us and basically giving us a hard time. There's kids here, so I just want to let y'all know.
Yeah, their presence is the reason why Juneteenth is a very credible and reputable and needed point of reflection for the nation. To the woman who said that Juneteenth is a celebration of individuals enslaved being free, and that's a good thing, that's a great historical point, but then decided to make an opposite gesture for the recognition of the holiday. It's interesting to me how individuals can actually be factually correct on what the holiday is, but still be internally wrong about the conclusion. Ma's thoughts.
Oh man, there's so many thoughts here. First of all, MAGA has to get together. It looks like they're having different opinions on this because Charlie Kirk said he's going to work, but those people with the bus clearly weren't going to work. They had time to show up at a Juneteenth event to taunt the people celebrating Juneteenth. So are they going to go to work or they're not going to go to work? Look like those guys were not working. That's number one.
For the federal
They're
holiday.
off. They're off. Number two, the stupidity just runs rampant with these racists. Starting with Donald Trump in his tweet where he says non-working holidays. For the most part, holidays, that's the definition of a holiday. It's non-working. So it's a little redundant. And then he's dumb enough to say that these things are costing us billions of dollars. No, sir, what's costing us billions and trillions of dollars is your big, beautiful bill that's going to make the rich richer and those who don't have less. That's what's going to cost us trillions of dollars. Thirdly, going into those guys in that auto place in the beginning, I mean, how dumb do you have to be, as you said earlier, to not at least Google it? When the lady says, what's this about? Hey, you know what? I got a phone. Let me just put this in and see what it's about. Oh, it's about, read it to her and then move on. But he's dumb enough to not say that, not know that, and say it's about reparations or something. And then he's even dumber, Dr. Richey, because you and I both know we love holidays because that means you don't have to work. So if anything, he should be flipping the script. And when the lady says, what is that? Oh, Juneteenth is a celebration of the independence that the slaves had in Texas. And the truth is, my boss isn't closing on this day, but I'm pushing for him to close so I can have a day off and stay home. So he's so dumb, he doesn't even want a day off. And so these people are really, really just thick in the head. The girl who said that, oh, the Democrats didn't tell the slaves. She's blaming it on 200 years ago when the parties were reversed and we're going to blame them. I mean, it's just ridiculous the lengths these people go to excuse their racism and say, no. It's not that we don't like black people. It's just that, this doesn't fall into the agenda of independence or American freedom. I mean, these people ignore history. And if you want any proof of that, all you got to do is go to Florida, where they said, let's not teach about slavery because that's going to offend white kids when we teach about slavery. So they want to live in a dark, without any knowledge, in darkness, and just spew things like this, not be sensitive. The thing that the guy could have done, the employee that went out to talk to the lady, could have fixed it by saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. We're sorry. I'm going to talk to Charlie or whatever his name is. Go back in, be a human being. Because just because you don't know, just because you're ignorant, doesn't mean that someone else isn't going to be offended by your words. So if you have an iota of intelligence, you go back, you fix the problem. And if you have an iota of sympathy, you go back and apologize and fix the problem. And so these people don't have any of that. And I hope Juneteenth gets a whole month, sir.
There you go. I'll be for it. And to those who hold the argument that somehow this is about other people and not in the American context, check yourself. If you really believe, that all Americans are American and we should not have these race-based, culture-based holidays, why would you not look at Juneteenth as the day that the rest of the Americans were freed? Just think on it.